Okay, so just by way of introduction, a simple way of building three possible scenarios. Publishers, schools, students. Publishers make material, schools take the material and feed it to the students. So you've got three things in a chain there, and more or less that's what happens at the moment. But what happens if we change each one of those in turn? We get three different scenarios. First is this one. And I'm pausing because I can't remember which one does come first. All right, this one was mentioned by Rod right at the beginning. Publishers decide that they can actually cut out schools and sell direct to clients. And there'll be all sorts of possible ways of doing that, but schools just get too expensive. The publishers get more and more elaborate in the way they're offering things via the new technologies, and suddenly it dawns on them, well, we actually don't need the schools at all. And other interests perhaps come in from other places and assist the publishers in this. Next one is schools cut out publishers, the other way around, and use public domain material with all this wonderful new technology, making this even more possible than it already is. Now this is something which is already happening in good measure in many schools. That is to say, teachers are not using published materials, they are using public domain materials, and the new technologies will make that far easier, far more possible, far more accessible. And who knows, that could become the main style of teaching. It gets around a lot of the problems of criticisms of the published materials. We simply don't use them. And the third version would be that both publishers and schools get cut out, and students don't rely on either schools or publishers, but other providers, and do it themselves. And one version of that would be this notion of Google and Google language schools, which is just one scenario, but actually when you start to think about it, it opens up a whole lot of others. So I would like now to hand over to my colleagues, well, to Nick anyway, to say something about this version, the Google School.
Yeah, we're going to look at what Google would do if they decided to do English, based on the kind of business models that they operate on now. Feel free to ask questions, heckle, or whatever you like, or walk out and discuss, or use your mobile phone if you want to. Okay. You can Google what's happening, you can tweet what's happening, do whatever you like. I'm going to try and convince you that everything else you've heard up until now has been rubbish, and this is the truth. Okay, so the business model for the Google School of English will, of course, be free. All learning will be free. That's the way Google does things. Everything is free with Google. Nobody pays for anything. It will be based on revenue generated from advertising. It will be open 24/7 and on demand. You can walk into a class with any time you want. If there's a teacher there, they'll teach you for as long as you want. If you don't like that teacher, you walk out and you walk into another class. It doesn't have to be a class. It could be at the bus stop, it could be at the shop, it could be online, it could be in Second Life. Wherever you go and find another person, they could potentially become your teacher, or you could become their teacher. Teachers are paid a percentage of the advertising. So if you spend 10 minutes teaching someone, you'll get a percentage of the advertising revenue generated from that. This is how websites work now. I'm surprised there's no heckling or questions. Oh, go on, please. All content will be online, and it will be downloadable to any device, whether you've got a mobile phone, whether it's a laptop computer. It might be that within the next 10 years, actually your computer screen will be a cream or an aerosol that you can spray on the wall or on your arm, and it becomes a screen, and you can teach people that way, just by electrolyzing it. Could be. There'll be a wide range of engaging content. It won't just be text, it won't just be audio, it will be video, there'll be games. Not games in the, okay, drag this word into this gap. It will be games like Xbox, like you play on Xbox or your Sony PlayStation. All this will be user-generated and generated collaboratively. So the games will be produced by users. Anyone who can produce a game gets a percentage of the revenue generated from that when somebody learns on it. Anybody who writes a text and a lesson plan gets a percentage of the revenue generated on that. Now anybody who teaches with that plan can adapt it, feed it back into the system, and again get paid through the revenue that's generated on that. Everything will be authentic because everything will come offline. Everything will be real. And it will be constantly updated because everybody who uses a text, everybody who uses a video, everybody who uses a game, everybody who uses a learning object will add something to that. Or could add something to that. In terms of assessment, Google will know everything you've done. Every video you've watched, every text you've read, every audio you've listened to. They will know how long you've listened to it. They'll know how long you've spent on a text, how many of the exercises you've done that go with it, how well you've done it. When you've spoken to a teacher, they'll know how long you've spoken to that teacher for. They'll know what how well the teacher rates you. They'll know how well you rate the teacher. They'll know everything. Everything you do to learn will be part of your assessment. Google will know your level. So if Google will know your level, you won't need to take an exam because Google knows everything you've done. They know how well you asked a question. When you went to the supermarket, if you did it in English, they'll know how well you did it. They won't need to test your level, they'll know. And that level will be available online. Anyone can Google you, find out what your level of English is, find out how good a teacher you are, find out how good a teacher trainer you are. If you're better at it, if you're a better teacher, your advertising revenue will go up because more people will be coming to you, so you'll get paid more money. So all teachers will be ranked on performance. You want a trainer to be a better teacher, you go and find a Google teacher trainer, and they'll train you to be a better teacher, and they'll get revenue from the advertising that's carried between your interaction with them. Anyone will be able to access this information. Anyone can become a teacher of anything. Anyone can be a learner about anything. Okay, you want to go to the supermarket, you could get a lesson in how to operate the till, and the till operator will get some revenue from that lesson. At the same time, you might be giving the till operator a lesson in English. If you're at the bus stop, you will know whether somebody's a teacher because everybody carries a mobile phone. Every mobile phone is GPS, so Google knows where you are all the time. Google knows where you are. If you're standing next to someone who's an English teacher, you'll get a message on your phone that says, hey, this guy's an English teacher. Okay, we're at the bus stop. We have 3 minutes. Give me a quick English. You're not doing anything, I'm not doing anything. You can make some money. You can... Maybe I can check I'm next to a bus stop at him, I can check his ranking and see if he's a good teacher or not, and whether I actually want to spend that time with him. So you'll be able to check out the school, the Google school. It will be blended learning, completely blended. It will be face-to-face like this, it will be in Second Life, it will be at the bus stop, it will be in real life. It's the real dogma. It's wherever you want to learn, whether you're at the playground and you're sitting next to another mother who speaks another language, or whether it's in the supermarket, or whether it's at the swimming pool. You bump into someone and get a quick swimming lesson. In English. Great. Anywhere, completely blended. It'll be online as well. You want to go on the computer. You don't want to meet people face to face. You can study on the computer. You can read a text. Google knows what you're reading, so that's going towards your assessment. Google knows when you're watching a YouTube video, so you're being assessed on that. It's all carrying towards your learning. Yeah, it'll be face to face if you want it, with any face, for however long you want. Anytime, anywhere. We said the supermarket, anywhere, bus stop. The curriculum. The curriculum will be anything you want to learn. Whatever you want to learn, if you can find someone who teaches you, that's your curriculum. Whatever you're learning, Google knows. So, it's going into your Google profile. When you go to see an employer and you want a job, well, they'll Google you and they'll find out what you do and what you don't do and everything you do in your free time and what you've learned. Whether you've learned how to use the till in the supermarket, whether you've got an English lesson at the bus stop, Google will know. So they'll know whether they want to employ you or not. They'll just Google you. Teacher, anyone, anywhere, anytime. All you need is a Gmail account. Anyone can be a teacher. Anyone. Anyone can teach anything. So, as I said, Google knows everything. When we started putting this together, this sort of idea of what the Google School of English would be, it seems kind of crazy, fanatical. But all of this is possible now. All of this is possible now. All of it. Yeah.